The courtroom doors creaked open, and two officers strutted in until they saw him. The man they'd cuffed like a criminal just a day before, now seated in the judge's chair. Their smirks vanished. Panic flickered across their faces. Cameras clicked. Eyes locked on the man they'd tried to humiliate, now holding their fate. How did this happen? What had they done? And how could they not have known? This isn't just a story of justice. It's a reckoning they never saw coming. Drop your city in the comments if you're watching this unfold. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon when Malcolm Green pulled into a highway rest stop, the kind of place you don't think twice about. A former civil rights attorney turned newly appointed judge. Malcolm was returning from visiting his mother in South Carolina. Calm, composed, and dressed in casual slacks and a button-down, he looked like any other traveler taking a break from a long drive. As he stepped out to stretch his legs, sipping coffee and scrolling through court notes, the world felt peaceful. The sun filtered through pine trees, and birds chirped faintly in the background. For Malcolm, these moments of stillness were rare and precious. But what he didn't know was that two local officers had been watching from their cruiser, zeroing in on him for no reason but the color of his skin. And before the coffee had cooled, that rest stop would become the site of a humiliating encounter he'd never forget. Malcolm had barely taken 5 steps toward the restroom when a police SUV pulled up behind his car. No sirens, no lights. He noticed the glance first. 2 officers eyeing him with the kind of suspicion that didn't need words. One stepped out, hand already resting on his holster. "Can we help you with something?" the officer asked, voice sharp and loaded. Malcolm, calm but cautious, replied, "Just stretching my legs." But that wasn't enough. They demanded ID. Malcolm asked what the issue was, and just like that, the tone shifted. The second officer walked up fast, cornering him between the benches. "You fit the description of a suspect," they said. No details. No real explanation. Within minutes, they were patting him down, ignoring his credentials. Even when he mentioned he was a federal judge, they laughed. "Right, and I'm the president." One of them cuffed him roughly, twisting his wrist, while the other ran his name through the system, smirking when nothing came up. Passers-by stared. Some pulled out phones, but no one intervened. For 20 humiliating minutes, Malcolm stood, cuffed beside his car like a criminal, his status, education, and dignity erased under the weight of 2 badges and unchecked bias. Finally, after a call to their superior, they let him go. No apology, no eye contact, just a cold. "You're free to go." But Malcolm didn't forget the badge numbers. And the next day, those same officers would walk into his courtroom, completely unaware of who they'd tried to break. The courtroom fell silent as the 2 officers walked in, confident, unaware. Malcolm sat at the bench, robe on, gavel in hand. The moment their eyes met his, the color drained from their faces. One stumbled mid-step. The other looked to the bailiff, confused. Malcolm didn't flinch. He read the charges: unlawful detainment, abuse of authority, each word echoing through the chamber like thunder. The officers couldn't speak. Their arrogance crumbled into panic. Here stood the man they tried to humiliate, now holding their fate in his hands, the same hands they cuffed without cause. For the first time, they felt what Malcolm had felt, powerless under judgment. But would Malcolm seek revenge or justice? If this moment hit you hard, drop it in the comments and keep watching. What happens next will leave you speechless. Malcolm didn't sentence the officers that day. He recused himself, letting the law take its course. But his presence alone shattered their illusion of power. The courtroom saw it, the community felt it, and the story made headlines across the country. For Malcolm, the scars weren't physical, but they were deep. That rest stop encounter reminded him, even a judge in America can be reduced to a threat by the color of his skin. He used that moment not for vengeance, but for change. Launching reforms in law enforcement training and speaking out publicly on systemic racism.